Hey everyone, welcome back to Prairie Wings. I'm Merle Mayer, and today is a great day. And the reason it's a great day is because I'm going to be answering a question that I get all the time. So we are dealing with a Holley Sniper on this car, but the Holley software is the same across all their platforms. And the question that I get is, I'm driving along and I have a surge or a stutter or a bit of a bog right off the line, and I don't know what it is. Well, that's acceleration enrichment most of the time. There are some problems that the self-tuning stuff creates over time, but today we're going to deal with the acceleration enrichment, and I'm hoping that with this laptop behind me, I can explain to you how exactly to deal with that. All right, we're working on a 1966 Chevelle. It's a 396 SS car, which is really cool, but he has added the Holley Sniper system to this. It's a Sniper V2. And if you're looking on your Sniper V2, where the Bluetooth is for your phone or your handheld screen has this connector coming right off the back of the Sniper unit. And this is a cable that you buy, so you can see the Bluetooth pieces right there. I've disconnected it, hooked my cable up to get into the laptop. This cable you usually have to buy. Now, when I go to the laptop here, it's plugged into the USB. This tune is downloaded out of the computer. If you hook this up, it's going to ask you what you want to do, and that's what you want to do. You're going to have to forgive me. This is not direct on the screen. I'm just holding the camera for this, so it's not a screen capture. So the most important thing when you're dealing with acceleration enrichment or any tune problem is you want a data log. So this right here, data logs on and off. So when you hit it once, it starts data logging. Hit it again, it turns data logging off. On the handheld, or I'm assuming on your phone, I haven't used that yet. Don't plan on it. That should also have a data log space, but I like doing it right on the computer, on the laptop I'm using. And I'm not going to deal with any of these other buttons. We're looking for acceleration enrichment. That is in the fuel tab here. And if I go down, you can go into acceleration enrichment. So what I have is I opened a tune. So I have opened a data log file on here, and that's what we're looking at right now. So if I pull up, I'm using a split screen here. So if I pull this up, what's happened is we'll say I am cruising along here. So if you look with a data log open, it's got a red ball over this, and I just use my arrows. I click onto this screen here and I use my arrows and I can go through the data log. Now this line here is my TPS and this red line is my RPM. I have all of these unchecked except for what I'm trying to do: RPM, TPS, target AFR, and AFR. So if you look, they're kind of following along. This right here we'll deal with later, but all I want to tell you about is this acceleration enrichment and how we can correct this problem. So I'm going to arrow along, and if you look, as soon as I stab the throttle, okay, so I stabbed the throttle, well, that little red ball, it went right off the screen because it is way up there, okay? And we will just split screen this again. And I am just going to keep, well, I'm going to refresh this because with me clicking off it, it isn't going to work good. So when I get to where I smash the throttle, you will see that ball is starting to rise. It's kind of moving around. Well, that's actually coming back down. So what I have there is when I first smashed the throttle in the beginning, when I would smash the throttle before, this thing actually would not keep up to even the AFR there. So it was like it wasn't getting a shot of fuel like you would on a carburetor. We have to give it a big shot of fuel to get this thing off and going, because what we're doing is we're whacking those throttle plates wide open. And so we need to fill that space as well with fuel, and we want it fatter on the wideband than you would normal driving. And when you're making power, you want it a little bit fatter. So fatter means richer. So if you look, when I smash the throttle, we go down to 9.76. And before, I'll show you a data log from before. Anyway, that is what's happening. Okay. I ended up getting into a nice rich spot when I whacked that throttle. So what I'm going to do is I am going to close this all down. Give me a second. I'll fire up the other data log. All right. I am now in the original tune that came with the car, and you can see that these numbers are lower if you do a comparison, as well as I have a data log off of this one. And what I have here is, I'm just going to go through it. You can see the ball moves, and it does, the AFR does give a squirt, but you can see it's quite a bit farther behind, but it does actually get down into the, I think 11, what I think it did get into, yeah, 1049. That's the lowest that it went. But it had quite a bog. Now, that isn't the only thing, is after it instantly, oh, it went down to 1039. But like, this is extremely short time frame, and right away it goes away. So what I am going to do is I'm going to go into, I'll just close this data log and show you the only things that you really need to do. You can data log all of this stuff, but you're going to notice on the map stuff, you don't see a whole bunch happening in there through the data log if you have the data log overlaying it. This is the one right here that is the, like the TPS based stuff. You're going to potentially deal with, data log it and see what changes go on. Each vehicle is going to be different. The map stuff, there's not going to be a whole bunch of changes go on, but usually you can cure all of this through this chart right here. And we go into the map one right here. This is for coolant. It is time versus coolant. And the time is how long that acceleration enrichment squirt lasts. So if I was to take and bring this chart up, when I go into acceleration enrichment, it stays on longer. And that's how you can get rid of that stumble. Because what'll happen is it will give it a squirt and then it goes away instantly. And so we're kind of wanting to transfer into what we would normally look at our power valve range, but we have a map in here, which is different. I'm not going to get into that, but bringing this table up will make that squirt last a lot longer. So it totally depends. Each vehicle does this different, but these two are the ones that you want to deal with if you are trying to get rid of that off idle stumble. And then the base fuel graph as well, the area in there, this all needs to be really, really driven lots and tuned in, but there is a spot above idle that I end up usually turning, we'll say learning off, and I fatten that part of the table up to correct it as well, but that's probably a video for another day. Anyway, that is what you want to deal with when you are trying to correct your acceleration enrichment stumble off idle deal. And so I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Hopefully this helps you. Have a great day.